Welcome to the Devonshire Diz. Today, I'm joined by one half of a fantastic Disney-loving duo. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Devonshire Diz. Adam here. I hope you're well, and today I'm joined by another special guest, one with a great name, if I do say so myself. Adam, aka one half of the Wanderlust Walleys. How are we doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. How about yourself?
Yeah, all good, all good. I know you're a little bit further north than I am. It has been a 25-degree blue skies and sunshine day down here in Devon. What's it been like your side?
Actually, you know what, the same, yeah. But I've been inside stores, so I've only been able to kind of look at the sunshine through
Oh
windows.
no.
I've not been able to experience it very much. But hopefully tomorrow's going to be the same again, so I'll be out and about a little bit tomorrow.
Yeah, we're having that sort of rare stint that we get every now and again where it's like the taste of Florida
Yeah.
in our own back garden.
Yeah, yeah.
But unfortunately, like you, I was looking at it through a window today and stuck to a laptop as well. Luckily, a school run gave me the blessing of going out and enjoying a bit of the heat and the sunshine. But it
Yeah.
is nice to see, isn't it?
It is. But the cars don't deal with it as well as the Florida cars with the aircon. It takes a long time
Yes.
to kick in.
Oh God, yeah. I opened the car door earlier and it was like a furnace, yeah.
Yeah.
And there was definitely no aircon, especially not that type of aircon anyway. Jeez. Awesome. We've had a few Adams on this podcast now. I'm thinking we've got Adam
Legendary name.
Taylor. I
Yeah.
know we've got Taylor's Oldest Time, Adam Taylor, and obviously Adam Kuma, who's joined us on the DisLoad. So we've got a few Adams we're adding to our Adam collection. And
Yeah.
listeners out there, if you're called Adam and you like Disney, then there is a place for you on the Devonshire Diz. We're not exclusive to Adams though, by the way, so it's all good. Any name is fine. Anyways, thanks for jumping on today, mate. We are here to hear about all of your passion for the mouse. So let's start at the very beginning. How was Disney growing up? How did it enter your life? Was it cartoons, films, early park visits?
I was trying to think back to where it come from, and it's kind of one of two places, I think. So the Aladdin cartoon was out when I was kind of getting into kind of films and stuff, and that's still my best movie. And then not long after Lion King, and then having those as computer games as well. I mean, for
Oh,
Aladdin,
yes.
I remember collecting the sticker book for Aladdin. My my nan and granddad used to run a post office, so they used to get the sticker packs like 25p. So I used to collect the album. So that every time I'd go and see them, they'd have some sticker packs for me. So I think I kind of got into Disney through kind of the movies. But I remember mostly on TV you could order the VHS Disney planning tapes. I
Yes.
think it were I want to say 1994 maybe, and 5 and 6 or something like that. So I remember just watching that VHS tape over and over again, just wanting to go. And then this might sound really sad, going into like Lumpolly and the travel agents, getting the brochures, and then going home, cutting out pictures and making my own travel brochures and stuff that I
Oh,
wanted
awesome.
to go and do. So yeah, so I think as a kid I always wanted to go, and I just remember my mum one day just like out of the blue just going, right, we're gonna go to Florida. Like, just thought
Amazing.
the best thing in the world.
What was the first year that you headed over to WDW? Do you remember?
No, I just remember being in school. I remember all the adult years when I've obviously had adult money and can pay for myself. Um, but I went 4 times as a kid or with my mum and dad. Just can't remember the years fully. One of them, I'm pretty sure, was 1999 because Islands of Adventure was testing, but it hadn't
Ah,
quite
okay.
opened. So I remember that, but then there was a few before then as well. But as for the years, I honestly can't remember. In fact, actually saying that, I'll be able to figure it out. I just found a load of old pictures that were printed out, and it was the 25th anniversary for
The
Walt
birthday
Disney.
cake.
Yeah, so I found all the pictures. So I'm gonna start putting them on Instagram every Thursday as like a throwback and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so
Yeah, great.
my mum unfortunately passed away a few years ago, so I've got some quality pictures of her and stuff, which is obviously great memories.
Yeah.
And then we can see obviously me and my brother as kids like getting the autographs of the characters and things like that. So yeah, it was great.
Awesome, awesome. 90s in a Walt Disney park was just so magical. Obviously, we were younger, so everything was more magical
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a child's eyes. But there was some really fantastic sort of theming going on. That 25th anniversary birthday cake in 1996, I was over there for that, and it was something to behold. That's for sure.
it was definitely
Wasn't the
different.
castle we were expecting.
No, not at all. I wish I could kind of remember it, and I keep looking back and going, I'm sure I would have remembered that. But yeah, these pictures, all the parades and stuff, it's 25 years, so it must have been that time.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Is there anything that really sticks out in your mind about child trips over, like a ride or shows or anything like that?
Um, I'm just trying to think now. I think the obviously the parade was such a big part of what we're on, like the VHS tapes and stuff. So
Yeah.
just kind of being involved, and watching those, that was obviously amazing. Um, Space Mountain was the first roller coaster I'd ever been on, so that
Oh
was like,
wow.
if I'm gonna go on one, let's just
Yeah.
go on in the dark and just get it done with. So yeah, so that I remember that being one of the first ones, and that was absolutely brilliant. Um, just trying to think because obviously Animal Kingdom wasn't open. I was a huge, I suppose I still am a bit of a tech nerd and stuff. So going to
Yeah.
Epcot at the time when
Yeah.
everything was futuristic and stuff. And I just remember they had computers that were set up on the internet of all the things, and you could chat with somebody on the other side of the world, and like, this is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah,
seemed like revolutionary, didn't it, at the
yeah,
time? And you obviously didn't have that sort of opportunity as at its disposal as what we have now on a smartphone, let alone on a computer in your own home. It was I remember those days in Epcot
yeah,
thinking like, wow, you mean I can actually speak to someone back home using
yeah.
this
I,
thing?
I just remember thinking that was absolutely amazing. But yeah, I absolutely loved computers and tech and stuff. That was great. But the fireworks show in Epcot, and even to this day, it's still like so emotional. And when you obviously when it finishes, I always kind of get that feeling of the holidays coming to an end. But
Yeah.
it was just yeah, I just remember seeing standing around the lagoon and watching it all and stuff. But that's the thing that kind of sticks in my mind more than anything. And the other thing, we went with my nan at the time, and she come for the first time. Um, and she, when we got back, she was the one like, when we going again? She absolutely loved it. And
Oh,
I,
she got the
yeah,
bug.
yeah. And I remember we always tried to sneak her onto the rides that were probably a bit more terrifying. So we used to like hide the signs that said, you may get soaked and stuff like that. But yeah, she was a good sport. But yeah, so she absolutely loved it as well as everyone else, which is why we went back so much.
So it's definitely a Disney family then. That
Oh yeah,
when
yeah,
growing up.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. I have one of those as well. I'm glad my parents brainwashed me, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was definitely. Obviously, I think my mum saw how just crazy I was with watching these videos and doing these holiday brochures. And like she's just had to do it. And I think I remember rightly, she found the flights on teletext holidays on teletext,
Yes.
and I'm sure it was £49 a person. And it was sturdy, it was wild. But we had to go from Gatwick, so obviously we had to travel down and stuff. And it was just stupidly cheap, which was why the reason why we went.
Yeah. Yeah.
You definitely couldn't get a flight for £49 out there now.
I don't think you can get anything for £49 out
No,
there now, unfortunately.
I think that was the reason why we went. But then after that, it was just like, yeah, we're just going again, no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. What a throwback,
Yeah,
VHS planning tapes and
yeah, yeah.
teletext holidays. You used to be able to get a good deal on teletext holidays. They need to
I remember
rekindle that somehow.
you had to obviously wait for the page to load, and then you could
Yeah.
pause the pages and stuff. And yeah, I just remember my mum always like looking to see what was going on.
Oh, I love it. We were
Quite
the same when it came to the Disney planning VHSs, and then obviously the DVDs when they came into CD disc
yeah,
form. It was just something that we always used to request or go into the local travel agent and be like, "Do you have any of these, please?" So our household was very similar. I used to love
yeah.
it, and then obviously it evolved to like the must do Disney stuff and Stacy and all of that jazz. So yeah, it's part of the magic, the whole planning element to it. Um,
It's such a good hype video, like to get
oh
you
yeah,
going. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. It's like all of the best bits, and it's like, yeah,
Oh
of
yeah,
course I
yeah,
want to go. Of course I want to go. Look at
yeah.
this VHS.
I always thought when I was younger, they had Downtown Disney, and then the can't remember what the club was at the time, but it was like party like it's the end of the year, every day kind of thing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I'm going to be there when I'm older.
yeah. Yeah,
Obviously,
definitely. I
I
felt
went.
exactly the same.
Yeah,
Exactly the same. Did you ever go to like the Pleasure Island area before they revamped
that
it?
was it. Pleasure Island. No, no, unfortunately not. So I missed out on that.
I remember walking through it as like a young teen, I guess, but never got the chance to go for like a proper night out and then soak in all of it. I know my parents did a couple of times, and they used to rave about it.
Yeah, I can
So
imagine
it's
it'd be good. Yeah.
something which they obviously catered for different age groups. And a friend of mine from down here in Devon, she actually was a cast member working in Pleasure Island. I remember back
Oh,
in the day
nice.
when we spoke about it, she was like, "Yeah, you just can't imagine that you're in like a Walt Disney World resort. It's just like it is just a nighttime strip of like restaurants and nightclubs and
Yeah.
music and atmosphere." She said it was good times. It was good times.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Like I said, the videos made it look incredible.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So when did the adult trips start happening?
So first one was 2008, and then 2010, 18, 19, and 2023.
Nice.
And 2010, when we went, it was $2 for a pound, give or
Yeah,
take.
the glory days.
Yeah, everything was cheaper out there anyway, so it was just you were shopping like you were a millionaire. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous. It took so much money. Um, Again, you just buy the extra suitcase when you come back and stuff, and it was
yeah,
just yeah, the good old days. We're fighting to get past 1.3 at the minute, and if it ever got to two
yeah,
dollars again, or even above 1.5, it'd be like, yeah, let's go, we're gonna go.
yeah. Yeah, we saw it at 1.3 the other day, and it was like shock and like, oh my goodness, we should probably start exchanging some money somehow here because it's at 1.3. And you just think,
Yeah,
because I remember when it got down to 1.3, and we were like, when is it going to end? Like, it can't
yeah,
get
yeah,
any worse than this because the 2 for 1 was just like you said, you just took an empty suitcase. I didn't need to pack. I bought the majority of the stuff that I wore out there, and then
yeah.
obviously reaped it when I came home.
That's all I did. I literally took 3 or 4 days worth of clothes, knowing we would have gone shopping within that time period anyway. Just
Yeah,
bought stuff out there because it's cheap enough anyway. And then obviously the discount outlets and stuff, even on the offers. Yeah, it was crazy. I remember going once and we went to Adidas and they were like, anything you can fit in this bag isn't like an extra 20 or 30% off. I'm just shoving stuff in a bag. And she was like, you don't need the box for the trainers and put the trainers in. It was
oh,
absolutely
amazing.
wild. It was so wild.
Those deals. Now you've got to buy like, 6 pairs of shoes to get one free or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Recently, we went back in August, September, which we'll probably touch on later. But there are still some good deals, but it isn't as good as it used to be.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's got all to do with that exchange rate. If that
Yeah.
exchange rate was just that little bit higher, those deals just feel a little bit better for us, don't
Oh
they?
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%.
You mentioned August. Let's move on to the most recent trips. And you've been quite lucky in the last year to not only go across the pond, but also across the channel. So let's start with Walt Disney World, August, 3 week epic trip. How was it?
Yeah, so I've been trying to plan this for quite a while, and the last time my brother went to Florida was when we were kids, and it was easily over 20 years ago. And I kind of mentioned it to him, and we were like, right, we need to plan it. And we were hoping to go 2023, but obviously, life pops up and things kind of get in the way. So we managed to get round to 2024. They wanted it to be like in theory a once in a lifetime trip for them, which hopefully it won't be. So which is why we
Yeah,
did the kind of the 3 weeks. So it was end of August, start of September. They did take the kids out of school because ultimately it was thousands of pounds cheaper to do it. Um, and you make the memories from it, which is worth it that weight in gold anyway. So yeah, 3 weeks, 2 weeks in with Disney. We did Universal, we had Discovery Cove, lots of shopping, um,
awesome.
everything that you could potentially fit in. We did. And there's still so much more that we could have done with like Busch Gardens and other things as well. So even 3 weeks isn't long enough to do everything.
Are you the planner? How was planning in
Oh,
general?
100%. I had it organized like months before on an Excel sheet, trying to figure it
Awesome.
all out. Yeah. Um, we got For the first time ever, we did the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party as well. So
Oh yeah, cool.
once we knew what dates they were, we were making changes, and yeah, for me, I'm just really organized, and if I know what I'm doing, it makes it a lot easier. So
Yeah.
yeah, from takeoff to landing and everything between, and we changed very very little. We were quite lucky with like the weather and stuff, so it didn't kind of affect the plans. It just worked out perfectly, really.
I was going to mention the weather because when you hear August in Florida, it's a warm one out there. How was the
Yeah,
humidity?
the first week it didn't rain. It was
Wow.
just hot. And then the rain started kicking in, and it was obviously those mid-afternoon showers, like 1, 2 p.m. And then we were more than happy to get to the parks early in the morning. We got a lot of stuff done. The two times we went to the water parks, it kind of got rained out later on,
Yeah.
but because we'd been there from kind of park open, we did make the most of it. And obviously, you can't expect to go there and not get rained on. But I like the heat. I don't
Yeah.
mind, feeling the sweat dripping down my back or just feeling over, too warm because you don't get it here very often.
That's what you
Uh,
pay the money for, right?
yeah, yeah, of course. Bryony, Bryony, the other half of the Wanderlust Walleys, she's not so much into the heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she has, quite long hair, which she has to kind of tie up so it's not on her shoulders, so which makes it feel a bit too warm. So, um, but yeah, for me, I absolutely love it.
Awesome. Awesome. And there were a few new attractions given the time that you went. Any of the new experiences stand out for you?
So the difference between what was it, 2019, and then we went in 2024. There was, Tiana's opened. I'm trying to reel these off now, including Universal. We had Velocicoaster, Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians was fantastic. Oh, Hagrid's again. That was absolutely amazing. That
Yeah.
literally opened a few months after we'd been. Um, yeah, Velocicoaster. I'm such a like a thrill seeker, so anything fast like that is a
Yeah.
win. But yeah, it's very difficult to kind of pick which is the best between kind of Velocicoaster, Hagrid's, and then Cosmic Rewind.
Really,
Um,
those are the three that stuck out.
yeah, Cosmic Rewind, Rule the World was the first song, and then Disco Inferno for the second one.
Nice.
Just made the ride so much better. When you've got a song that you like absolutely love, like Disco Inferno was so good.
Yeah.
Like, that's when it kind of goes, oh, is this second or first now? Or yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Awesome. I've not gone on it
Tiana,
yet. I'm looking forward to it.
oh, honestly, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. We had to do the whole wake up for 6:50 a.m. to get the
Yes.
thing at 7 a.m. And then obviously 1 o'clock as well. You could do it, but I think we either 5 out of 5 or 6 out of 6. We managed it every time because there
Good.
was
Good
four,
stuff.
four or five of us on the phones at the same time doing it, and so we got quite lucky, I think, getting them every time.
Would
Um,
that be the tip from your perspective? Just make sure you've got an abundance of phones ready to go on My Disney Experience.
yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously Tron was the other one actually, so that was
Yes.
new. But Tron and Tiana isn't on that system anymore, so
Yeah.
um, that should be a bit easier. It's kind of hit and miss because I feel like getting that, I suppose it's a lucky lottery ticket to go to your ride at a certain time. I think that works better than just kind of going and queuing up for 2.5 hours, 3 hours if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Um, but again, on the flip side, other people are more than happy to rock up, and some days it could be 20 minutes, half an hour. So yeah,
It's luck of the draw, isn't it? It really is.
yeah, totally, totally. But yeah, Tiana's was brilliant. I don't really remember Splash Mountain, but I had been on it. So I thought Tiana's was great, and Tron. I think everyone says the same thing. It's good, but it's short. But
It
I
is
think
short.
because everyone enjoys it, they want it to kind of go on for that little bit longer. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was great. The whole obviously being on a bike and that experience was brilliant.
The
Um,
ride system's incredible, isn't it?
yeah, and the whole thing at night, it's just so good. I remember walking up one of the days and been vlogging it, and then the lights just started to come on and turn on, and then you kind of queue up, and you come out, and it's pitch black, and everything's just blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so good, so good.
I think the issue that Tron has is the second half of the ride. Like, there's the first half of the ride is the grandest part, isn't it? You go outside, you're
Yeah,
heading up on that top bend to go into the show building, and it's like, at that point you're going at your top speed as well, so your initial sort of reaction is like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And then you get indoors and it's sort of like
Slows down that little bit.
a left and a right, yeah, will slow you down so you can see what's going on the screen, and then it's over. And it's a little bit like, they need, if only they could have found another way to just bring you back up to that height for the second half just before you ended, just to finish it on that feeling. I don't know, but it is a great ride. Front row, we did front row, and front row was an experience. It was fab.
Yeah, I normally didn't get front row. But again, yeah, and if you can get anything front row, obviously it's a different experience altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, one of the best experiences I had on a front row ride was Dueling Dragons from Universal.
Yes, remember it. Love it.
Because I just remember you couldn't really see the track above you, so when it did that kind of face to face and went up, you didn't know when that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But Hagrid's, the first time I went on it, that was front row. Like, again, that's just luck of the draw of getting on there.
Awesome.
So brilliant. So yeah, anything front row was a different experience.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I haven't experienced Universal for a while now, not since the kids have come around, but I am looking forward to going over there and checking out like the Velocicoaster, the Hagrids, obviously what Epic is throwing out now as well. It'll be in our future, that's for sure, and hopefully I'll be able to get on all of that. One thing I have to mention is Hatgate on Big Thunder Mountain and the reaction of the back row to be able to catch Bryony's hat. That is just, it was Tiana's, wasn't it? Not Big Thunder Mountain.
Well, yeah, so Bryony's cap fell off through Tiana's at the bottom of the drop, and my brother at the back row managed to catch it, which was
amazing.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
So that was good. And then I think we went on to Thunder Mountain not long afterwards, and I didn't learn, and I actually lost my cap on Big Thunder.
That was it. I knew Big Thunder came into it at some point. Yes, yeah. So you didn't best remove him.
No, I didn't best remove him. So I ended up losing my cap. I did make the same mistake twice. But Bryony wanted to buy a cap anyway, so she bought the one she wanted. I wore that for the rest of the day.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, it was so funny. Cause obviously, I didn't have a clue what had happened, and then like just look back, and my brother's like waving this cap around, and Bryony's like, "Where's my cap?"
Hats off to him. That is, given you're on that sort of ride, that's some good reactions, good reflexes.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, because we can see it back on the vlog. It was just it's dead funny to watch it back now.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Hey, at least you got a new hat out of it.
Well, yeah. Bryony's not complaining there.
Yeah, that's it. And you were rocking the Baymax hat after that. Was that a purchase out there?
No, actually, that was probably shouldn't say it, an AliExpress purchase.
Oh, okay, yeah. So nice.
Bryony's a huge Baymax fan, and then I got us matching caps, but it was massive. The cap, it didn't fit her head very well.
Yeah.
But I thought I've never seen anything like this anyway, so I thought I'm just gonna wear it. So,
definitely.
I had a few people like when I was out there like asking about it and stuff.
Which shop do you get this from? The Emporium, Main Street? Was it Disney Springs? Like, just back home.
Yeah. So yeah, love Baymax. And actually the Big Hero 6 movie, going off on a tangent there, but yeah, massively overshadowed, unfortunately, by Frozen. But such a great film.
Yeah. I know they've started to sprinkle that franchise into some of the parks now around the globe, but we should hopefully start seeing some of that come to Walt Disney World and Disneyland Paris at some point. Fingers crossed, anyway.
Yeah, hopefully.
But I've still been banging on the door about Wall-E because, it's time. It is time to have something Wall-E in the parks other than a statue in Discoveryland and DLP.
Yeah, I definitely think for Living with the Land, get that updated. A Wall-E theme, get the Axion in there somewhere, or you're on one of those hovering things, and it would just work really well. Yeah, because they still want that educational piece, don't they? So
yeah, definitely. It's got a good message. It's got a good story, a good message. It's a great film, and I just think to myself, why is it taking so long for that IP to get any sort of recognition in the parks? Hopefully one day it does. And I saw there was a meet and greet that started in, is it Disneyland Resort? I saw that came out for Earth Day. Wally was walking around the Pixar Hotel, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully that comes to WDW.
It's Thursday though that it happens. So
was it?
It's quite special when it happens. But I mean, everyone loves Wall-E, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Oh, awesome. Something else that I clocked while you were enjoying your magical stay in Walt Disney World was cheeseburger pods, and I fell in love with cheeseburger pods in Animal Kingdom. What did you think?
Very nice. There was quite a few people who watched, and obviously they said it and recommended it and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, very nice. Wish I would have gone back from a second time. But yeah, definitely recommended. So if no one if you've never been to get it, anyone listening, make sure you pop out and get them in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, definitely. We saw it on, I think it was Mammoth Club's vlog. I think it was
Insta,
Molly who
yeah,
tried it out for the
yeah,
first time, and she obviously championed it. And we were like, that sounds a little bit interesting. And
yeah,
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 we did
yeah.
exactly the same as you. We went to kids' meal. We thought we won't go adults just to give it a try. Next time we went back, we were like, okay, two adults portions, please. Make
Yeah,
sure we get as many pods as possible.
yeah, more pods the better. Yeah, they are very nice. Yeah, I can't remember who I watched, and they were basically saying it was kind of like a bit of like a Big Mac taste.
Yeah,
Really good. Yeah,
yeah. Have you got any other standout meals that you had when you were in Walt Disney World?
we didn't do a huge amount of meals there. 'Cause, one of the best ways to save money was kind of taking food in. My brother's kids, the best way to put it, are fussy, so it
Yeah,
was easier to kind of make sandwiches and stuff in the morning. They could obviously go in and we could eat it when we were there. Um, Not so much in the parks. Disney Springs Blaze Pizza was is a huge win.
awesome.
So that was the first time we did that, and I think we ended up going. We went twice actually, but it'll be on our list every single time because that was really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I am trying to think where else that we did eat somewhere, and why can't I think? Oh, Roundup Rodeo Barbecue.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Awesome. I haven't been in there. How's
I
that?
don't know why I forgot that. I went for my birthday.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so that's great. The whole experience of obviously being in there, and then the tannoy or something comes over the tannoy, like Andy's come in the room, you've got to freeze and stuff.
Yeah.
That happened a few times. Or there's one where like Rex is hosting like a party, and then like, he trips over the cable and the music cuts off, and it's quite funny. But
Ah,
that,
so
that
it's
was
like a
really good. Yeah.
immersive experience as well as the food.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and again, the food's kind of all you care to enjoy. So once you've eaten it, if you want any more, they'll just bring it back out again for you. So made the most of the second round of the meat basket.
Nice, nice. Is that what stood out? Was it the meat basket?
Yeah, there's I'm trying to remember what was in there now. There's like four or five different kind of meats and stuff, but we had seven of us. I think we got like three of them, and there's loads in there. There's absolutely loads.
Nice, nice. How was it traveling as a group with kiddos obviously in tow? How did that change like dynamics of Disney tricks that you've done as Disney adults in the past?
I mean, it's always been me and a partner. So actually having kids in tow was it was a bit different. And not having kids, it was definitely a patient tester at times.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
Yeah,
and this was their first kind of big holiday, first time out the UK, first time on a flight and stuff. So they were absolutely buzzing to obviously to be going anyway and to be getting on a plane and stuff. We did splash out a little bit more. We got the premium seats on the flight, which we ended up getting Black Friday because they come down quite a bit. So that
nice,
was
cool.
slightly better experience because obviously there's a bit more room and kind of as opposed to being kind of cattled in, so to speak.
Yeah,
Um, but they were absolutely fine. I think they were worried that they were going to get bored on the plane, but there's not much to do with the movies and stuff, and there's always food going around or a snack or there's something to kind of keep that 8 hours going, 9 hours going. And before we know it, we'd landed and we were ready to go.
awesome. How did they manage to heat?
Um, Hit and miss. Nathan was fine. Isabel was some days she loved it, other days she didn't. Um, but they got the like the cooling towels and like the spray fans with the foam thing, and
Yeah,
just jumping in the shops all the time for aircon and stuff like that. So I don't remember too many complaints.
good stuff. Do you think that going with kids, you went on potentially saw some shows or different attractions that you wouldn't necessarily have done if it was just you and Bryony going?
Um, I'm trying to think what we did. It was a different experience in the way of so Nathan was 13, and I feel like that was around the age me and my brother were going. So actually seeing like Nathan, Isabel, and Esme and kind of things through their eyes was great for me. And we definitely did more around the smaller rides than
Yeah,
the thrill rides and stuff. Um, but once my brother had a bit of confidence in using the app in itself as well. They went off and did their thing because they were aware me and Bryony wanted to do different things and stuff, but we
Sure.
get to the park together, do certain things together, because they had um, the disability pass, so we were able to kind of maximize that. So Nathan and Isabel could use that, so that was good to kind of get on the more premium rides together, and then we went off and kind
Sure.
of did our own thing and met back up again later on and stuff. So that worked really well.
Are you saying it was your choice to go on Small World and it wasn't dragged on by the kids?
It was definitely Esme and Isabel who wanted to to get
Oh,
onto it.
okay.
But I feel like you've got to go into It's a Small World, right? It's
It's a rite of
classic.
passage, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's not as bad as what you make out, but it's definitely no Tron or Guardians of the Galaxy anyway.
Yeah, I don't think there's a virtual queue for Small World these days, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I
virtually
don't
no.
mind doing it once, but after that, it ingrains in your mind, doesn't it? And I've had that
Yeah,
too many times over the decades.
I think the girls ended up doing it a few times.
What about Bryony? Is she like a proper thrill seeker? Does she enjoy those sort of rides, or is she a little bit
Not
more slower
as
paced?
much. She's definitely higher than It's a Small World, but she's not like a Velocicoaster level. So she did Guardians of the Galaxy once, but she wasn't interested like the second time. Um, but she's not done Space Mountain, which I was a bit disappointed with. I said you can't see what's going on anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah,
But she'll try most of them at least once, and then that's fine. Tron she did once. Um, but yeah, I think she's not at the same level I'm at.
yeah, that sounds very similar to my
Yeah.
side of things. And Loz, she'll like you said, try everything once. I remember the first time she tried Tower of Terror, she was like, "I'll try it once,"
Well,
and it was a one and done. I don't think I'll
yeah.
ever get her back on that attraction.
We did Paris in December 21, and then I just started queuing up for Tower of Terror, and we were just chatting away, and before we knew it, we were like inside in the queue, ready to go. Uh, and it must have been like one of the longest rides. I was like, "It's done now, don't worry," and then we just drop again. Oh, it's got to be over by now. Going up and down again. And she said to this day her stomach's never been the same since.
It's an experience. If you don't like those sort of rides, then it can terrify you, can it?
Yeah, she just said she physically couldn't scream. Like it just took her breath away. She couldn't do it. So, but she did it once, so that's fine.
Yeah, she's done it. So you can
Yeah.
get those t-shirts that say like "I survived Tower of Terror." Loz has always said like, if you ever find that t-shirt again, can you get it for me just to prove that I went on it at least once, because you're never going to get me back on it.
When we just went back recently, I was like, "You sure you don't want it? You've done it once. You can do it again." She's like, "No, no, not at all, not at all."
No, just soaking the Floridian sunshine outside while you wait. Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
great stuff. Great stuff. Oh, awesome. Well, actually, mentioning Tower of Terror and DLP, let's jump across the channel from the pond. And you very recently jumped back into the magic by heading over to DLP. How
Yes.
was Disneyland Paris amidst all of the transformation of that whole resort that's going on at the minute? How did you find it?
So compared to when we went last time, they've opened up Avengers Campus, which is a fairly large area. Because again, that was all boarded up, but there is a lot of obviously construction going on. The I can't remember, I don't know what the area is called, but you kind of walk indoors through into the park, and it's got all the restaurants and stuff that's being done up. So
Yep, Studio One.
yeah, so to the left of that, there's just like a pathway that everyone's walking up and down, so it's a bit cramped, and then you kind of get out. But there are a lot of walls up, and we didn't really kind of make much effort to find, where the frozen land's going to be. But
Yeah,
I've seen pictures, kind of from behind the walls and stuff. I imagine once that opens up and those walls come down, it's going to be totally different again.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, we enjoyed it. Obviously, you get there and you kind of understand how big Walt Disney World is.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because we did 3 days this time because we knew we could box both parks off in a day each, and we wanted kind of a park hopping day and stuff. Um, and annoyingly, Big Thunder was closed, and Crush's Coasters, it's like two big kind of rides.
Ah, really?
Yeah, so Big Thunder we kind of knew about for a long time. I think it's going through quite a long refurb. And then Crushing Growth, it was like 3 or 4 days that it was going down. So yeah, that was quite a big one that closed at the time.
Ah, that's a
Um,
shame. I love a bit of Crushers.
yeah, it's dead good. It's good fun.
What did you think of the village before you got into the parks? Because I know there's a lot going on there, and obviously the iconic Planet Hollywood building is now gone. Was it up when you went?
No, not this time. So
It was leveled.
yeah, so 2021 we actually went to Planet Hollywood, and to be honest, we can see why it's now been leveled because it was
Yeah,
terrible. Um, but yeah, that's all gone. And then there was two new stores that were open, Disney Style and I can't remember what the other one was called, but they are linked together anyway.
yeah,
But they're kind of the like really premium up kind of class upmarket shops. So they were really nice. But yeah, again, once all that's been done, it's going to be incredible down there. It's definitely going to give Disney Spring kind of room for its money.
yeah, definitely. The village, especially for me, going to Disneyland Paris. I went in March 23 after a bit of a break, and you looked at the village and you were like, it's not 1998 anymore.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
let's spruce this up a little bit. So it's timely, isn't it?
yeah. There's I think there's something else. The Lego store just recently opened that was there. We kind of saw it, the big Mickey on the wall that had just been put
Yeah,
up a
cool.
day or two before we were there. Um, yeah, Disneyland Paris in a year's time will be, I think, incredible. Um, yeah, the Frozen Land's going to open. I know the Lion King ride's potentially going to go in soon as well, and the
Cannot wait.
Magic Land. So it's clearly, they're investing quite a lot in it because the studios park was absolutely tiny and in a way
Yeah,
kind of pointless.
yeah,
Um, because when we went, there was kind of really Ratatouille, Remy's, and then Crush's Coaster. They were the two big ones, and once you'd done that, like you kind of done everything really.
yeah, yeah. How was Avengers first time out?
Um, there was well, so we have done it in California. So
Oh,
we
nice. How did it compare?
um similar, obviously California. To be honest, it is a larger footprint. And I'll say better weather, but we actually got really lucky in Paris with the weather when we were there. It was like 16 degrees. So I was like, actually, we'll
Hey,
take that.
take that in Paris.
Yeah, it's not shorts and t-shirt, but definitely t-shirt. And
Yeah.
but good. Like web slingers, Bryony beat me both times in California, so I needed to get my own back. And she beat me every other time up until when we were separated in different carts, and then I won. Uh, so she has a great pride in owning me on that one. And
Excellent.
then they've got um they've got Flight Force, which was the retheme of Aerosmith.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
did
Rock and
that,
roller coaster.
yeah, which is good. And what they do really well actually in the park is obviously you're in France, you'd expect French to be spoken, but they do mix it in quite well with English. So
Yeah.
um, the Iron Man animatronic was fantastic in like the pre-show, so
Yeah.
that was really good. And the ride's great. Um, well, I can't remember what it's called. Rock and Roller Coaster, right?
Yes. That's the
Yeah,
one.
it obviously is great anyway. So it's one of those things where you can kind of just about see what's going on as you're whizzing around, but you can't really make it out. You just obviously having your head thrown around.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I went on it, it was a little bit of projection, a little bit of color, but mainly just darkness and my head going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for
Yeah,
about two minutes. Which
yeah,
actually I didn't mind because I do love that rock and roller coaster ride. So the fact that they've still got the ride system there at least is fab.
yeah. I don't. From what I'm aware of, they've not changed it. They've just overlaid the new thing onto it. So that's really good. And then yeah, they've got quite a few buildings. So there was like an evening show with Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Agatha going on that was projected on.
Yes.
We've got the Quinjet, and then they have like the area where Spider-Man and stuff kind of hang out up top. So we saw Spider-Man in a couple of different outfits and Ant-Man the Wasp a few times and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Awesome. And you went in Pim's Kitchen for food
Yes.
as well. How was that experience? I've heard great things about that place.
Yeah, for me, I can eat briny not so much, so I made the most of it. I think 2 or 3 plates worth of food. But yeah, so that Pim's Kitchen is kind of an all-you-can-eat buffet kind of idea. Just go back as much as you want. The one in California is just like a sit-down restaurant. You order a particular meal.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
different.
yeah. But the one in California, they do an absolutely giant pretzel. So next time we go out, we're gonna get that. But you do get a free warm pretzel at the table in Paris, which was great.
Nice.
But yeah, you just go up. Everything's obviously ready or cooked in front of you and stuff. There was loads of desserts. There's plenty of choice.
Awesome. Awesome. And how about jumping over to Disneyland Park? How was that experience this time out?
I really like the park and the castle's great. What we didn't do last time was seeing the dragon underneath. So that
Oh,
was a good
yes.
experience. Yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
good. But yeah, I feel like the castle's brilliant. Big Thunder Mountain. Obviously, we said it was closed, but it's probably the best one, like the best version I've been on. Um,
Have they got
I
one in Cali? I assume they have.
say again, sorry.
Have they got a Thunder Mountain in Cali? I assume they have.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And Paris is the best of the three.
yeah. I feel like the one in Paris because it you go underground, which is like under the lake or the river, and then you're just on the island itself. So I feel like that was great.
I
Uh,
love that underground part.
Phantom Manor. I feel like it's probably better than Haunted Mansion in some aspects.
I
Some
agree.
really good scenes in it. Like there's at the start you've got the bride at the top of the stairs, and all the lightning's going off on the red carpet. It's brilliant. And there's supposed to be some kind of lore behind it that the person who built that was the owner of the Big Thunder Mountain. So there's a whole story behind that as well. So I don't know too much about, but it's cool that they link it all in together, which is why Phantom Manor is in Adventureland because obviously
Yeah.
it's different elsewhere. So
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Definitely look up that story because it's just, yeah, listeners who are listening, all you need to do is Google it and you'll get the whole backstory of it. I'm not going to spoil it on here, but it's a fantastic story and it shows that immersion that you do get in Paris and obviously in other Disney parks around the world. But that whole story regarding Big Thunder Mountain, Phantom Manor, and just that area of the park is just it's just fab. It's cast
yeah,
member magic and imaginary magic at its best. It really is.
really good. Yeah, really good.
Good stuff. What about Pirates of the Caribbean when we're comparing? Because I personally think that Pirates of the Caribbean is better in Paris than it is in Walt Disney World.
Um, so Pirates isn't my favorite ride, but I appreciate how good of it is with, especially with all the animatronics and stuff. And I don't know if it's a bit faster in Paris in terms of there's not as many scenes. Um, I think there was two drops again here. But yeah, I mean, as pirates go, I think it's absolutely fine. I can't really kind of compare them. I'm struggling to remember with it, but um,
Yeah.
obviously they've got a lot of this, the similar scenes where you've got him kind of coming up through the barrel hiding away and stuff, and obviously the fire scenes and that going on. Um, but have you seen? Is it one in Tokyo Disney?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
just looks like next level, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of Tokyo which has that reference, unfortunately, next level. I need it to be closer to home because
Yeah.
I'm watching Adam Patton's doing some vlogs at the minute. He's done a couple of Tokyo vlogs, and a few others have mentioned Tokyo. Ordinary Adventures is another vlog
Yeah.
channel that have gone out there recently, and it just looks fab out east. It really does.
I don't know if they've just got a little bit more kind of flexibility and leeway with getting stuff done and
Yeah,
maybe
I think
less
so.
red tape or something. It's just like, yeah, we're just going to do it. And yeah, it's extremely good. It just looks amazing.
One thing to bring it back into Paris is I think is it Hong Kong, I think, who has the frozen land at the minute, and just seeing all of that out there and how it looks and the ride systems and so on and so forth. Seeing that if Paris can replicate that in any sort of shape, I think they're going to be on a winner having a frozen land over this side.
Oh, yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, it's got to be one of the most loved IPs for
Yeah,
such a long time now. So yeah, it's going to be a massive win for sure.
definitely. One thing that I feel, and I've mentioned on this podcast, I've mentioned on our DisLoad podcast, that DLP really get right is shows, be it parades, be it the shows that you can go and sit down in some AC, or the nighttime shows. I think Disneyland Paris are fab at doing their shows. Did you get to experience any when you were out there?
So the Lion King show that they do. annoyingly wasn't on, but we have done it the previous time, and that's absolutely fantastic. Kind of
Yeah.
like the the one in Animal Kingdom. It's just so good. Everyone like performing in it. It's just top class. So yeah, but that's it's quite a big area around there, and I think again there's a
Yeah.
lot of room to do something else. But that was great. We saw one of the parades, obviously down Main Street, and we were in an ideal place. We were literally at the bottom of Main Street just before it kind of turned off from us, so we could kind of see it coming straight down in like a side view.
Oh,
Not
great.
as long as what you'd find in Florida, but that was amazing. And then we watched the evening show twice. And the first time we went, it said over the tannoy like it's an adapted show, but we didn't know what was missing until the
Right.
second time when we were just missing the drones, and it just made
Okay.
a different experience again. So the first time we got a little bit closer, more towards the end of Main Street, and then the second time we kind of stepped about halfway down. They had like projections on the sides, then we could still kind of see the drones going off and stuff as well. And then I just remember the song from Encanto, and I can't remember what it's called. Um, and just everyone dancing, like like kids who were being held by the parents and dancing around and stuff like that. And it was just like, this is exactly what it's about. Like it's
Yeah.
just this is the sole reason. Everyone's just absolutely loving it. But yeah, the shows it's not as firework heavy. I think it relies more on the projections and the drone side of things. But yeah, absolutely top class. Loved it.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. We had Christy on a couple of episodes ago, and she mentioned Tales of Magic and said it was like a must do. You have to make sure you end a Disney day on watching that
Oh
show.
yeah,
I think any Disney day you gotta try and get to a nighttime spectacular. It doesn't matter which park you're in; they're all fantastic. But I remember Illuminations in Disneyland Paris from a few years back was fantastic, and I've seen and heard good things about this new one. Hopefully, it's gonna be here to stay for a while, and just having the additional drone element to it sounds awesome.
I think the thing with drones, and you see other companies doing it, they're just going to get better and better.
Yeah,
They're going to move faster. They're going to do different things, and it just adds that little bit of extra to the show.
yeah.
But yeah, they definitely know how to like pull on the heartstrings when you're watching these shows.
Oh, definitely, definitely, yeah, yeah. I grew up a Wishes fan in Magic Kingdom in WDW, and obviously
Nice.
Happily Ever After has its following as well. Um, so they're pretty big, aren't they? These nighttime spectaculars over a castle. They
Oh
certainly
yeah,
tug on those emotions.
yeah, and it just goes to show like you stood there an hour before, and there's people already waiting, and
Yeah.
just yeah, how important it is to kind of get there and do these things.
If you were going to recommend anywhere to stay, since you saw it from different vantage points, and I know from a DLP perspective, I believe this show is the first show that they've done projections down Main Street. Is it beneficial to be a bit further back to take in those projections?
I try to get them on camera. I think what worked really well is they're in like your peripheral vision, so you do see something going on. Um, but I feel like there you're probably better a little bit closer up to the castle because there's a lot of projections on the castle which you kind of want to get to see. So I don't
Right.
think you're missing out too much from being further up Main Street. But again, we were lucky being able to do it twice. If you've got that ability to, do it twice, then do one near the front, one further back. And again, the drones are that big, doesn't matter where you kind of stood, you're going to see it.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Every time I start talking about nighttime spectaculars, it's like, right, I need to be back in a park soon so I can
Yeah.
take in a nighttime spectacular because they are just fantastic, aren't they? They know what
Oh
they're
yeah,
doing.
yeah, yeah. And God knows how much it costs them to do these shows. It's ridiculous, but every night, like,
I remember there was a quote a while ago, and it's clearly not this anymore, but I'm sure it was something like for Magic Kingdom, it was something like $250,000 for firework display a night, and I'm sure it isn't that anymore. I'm sure it's been changed, and it may even be higher now, but maybe this is the reason why we're seeing more drones and more projections come into play because the cost of pyrotechnics have probably gone through the roof.
yeah, I can imagine. I remember seeing something, and again, it probably isn't true or not anymore, but what they would make from popcorn sales would be enough to cover the firework display.
I did see that too.
I
Yeah,
just think that's a lot of
yeah.
popcorn popcorn.
That is a lot of popcorn. Yeah, my goodness. Yeah. But then you look around the Disney park and, every other person's munching on popcorn these days.
Yeah, basically. I think it's going to become more popular here because all the cinemas now, every time there's a big movie out, there's a new popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
going to be a trend. But yeah, I think drones, while they probably cost a lot, I'm sure it'd be cheaper in the long run than fireworks. But I don't think you're missing out too much. I think if they do the right mixture of drones, the fireworks, the projection mapping and stuff, it's just win-win-win.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah,
I know the revamp to the Studios Park when it becomes Adventure World, they've teased a bit of a nighttime spectacular over the lake that they're making. I think that's going to have drones as well as
yeah,
pyrotechnics and some projections on the water. So we've got another one coming. Hopefully, we're going to get some sort of like Epcot feel to that side of it with the lake.
that'd be
Looking
brilliant.
forward to it.
We also saw the drone show at Disney Springs when we were there. We managed to
Oh,
see that.
really? Oh,
Yeah, that's
cool.
why. So that was brilliant. It was fairly short, but again it was incredible. Uh,
Yeah.
and again they were massive. I think it was something like the Star Wars, the Death Star was the same size, if not bigger, than the Epcot Spaceship Earth.
Was it? Oh,
It's
my
mental.
goodness.
Yeah, so they definitely that was clearly a good test of how do people like drones because it was packed every night. It was packed, so
Yeah.
yeah, I imagine we'll see a lot more of it in the parks and hopefully something in Animal Kingdom because what better way of doing something that's fairly quiet, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I get it. You can't put fireworks in that park. And they had, what was it called? Rivers of Light. That was on the
yeah. The
lagoon for a
stadium, yeah.
little bit. I never saw it. Did you see it at any point?
I saw it once. I thought it was good for what it was. The like projections on the water mist and stuff. And like you said, you expect to be no fireworks. That was absolutely fine. Um, Never saw kite tails.
That's going to be my next question. I love kite tails. Loved it.
Seen it on a lot of vlogs and stuff, and that's probably as much. But yeah,
It was one of those things that was kind of like, okay, sooner or later this kite's going to hit someone in the crowd, isn't it? This is what we're all here for. Just
that's
let's
what
see,
we're
like
for. Yeah.
King Louis just nosedive the crowd or something. But no, it was cheesy, but it was Disney cheese, so I'm happy with that. It was good fun. Well, I've mentioned a couple of times of referencing your trips, and the reason why I can reference this is because obviously you have picked up a camera on your Disney trips and started vlogging. How
Yes.
did vlogging come about, and what was the purpose initially to start vlogging your trips?
The main purpose was going on the trip with my niece and nephews, and I would love to watch videos back of being in Florida as a kid and stuff like that. And I thought if I'm ever going to kind of give vlogging a crack, what better time than a 3 week trip where I can kind of cover quite a lot. So yeah, I thought I'd just give it a go. And I remember I remember practicing my intro over and over and over again. Just couldn't get it right. And then just kind of going, well, I'll just record whatever it is and what it is, that's it. So I ended up doing it all on my phone. I got like just like a sturdy stand with like a magnet on the back, just so I could kind of
Yeah,
hold it. Um, Never watched anything back that I'd kind of recorded, and so it was like, it is what it is, kind of thing. But yeah, the kids absolutely loved it. It was set to go up at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday, and then one of the days I forgot to kind of set the time, and my brother was ringing me going, "The kids are sat in the rooms waiting for the video. Where is it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'll get it on." I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. But they would all go into their own bedrooms at 6 p.m. every night. So my brother was like, "This is brilliant. I've got like an hour's piece while everyone's watching it." Uh,
yeah, that's fair enough.
so they still watch it back and stuff. And then again, it's been great for me and Bryony because I've actually really loved editing the vlogs. But you still don't kind of see things until then you kind of put it all together and you watch it and like there's just moments that happened that like we might have missed or we then remembered and stuff and like the whole cap coming off and Tiana's is just really funny to watch.
Yeah,
Um, there's one when we went to Discovery Cove and Bryony's got the camera and this stingray's like swimming towards her and she's absolutely panicking to try and get out of the water. It's just so funny. Um, so yeah, so it's been really good to kind of watch it back, but ultimately it was just something to kind of document, what we've done, and it's always there for the kids. if it is their once in a lifetime trip, or maybe their, childhood trip, and maybe they get there when they're adults and stuff. But it's always around.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that, like, when people talk about it, and I've had this over the socials before, people are like, "Oh, there's a lot of vloggers these days. A lot of people are vlogging, and everyone's jumping on the bandwagon of vlogging." But I remember, going as a kid in the '90s, and my dad certainly was one of the dads who had this like brick of a camcorder taking some footage of the family trip, or other people just rocking up with an old 80s 90s camcorder like hoisted on their shoulder, taking their VHS out or
Yeah.
their cassette out and then putting it back in. So we've been doing it for generations, and now that we've got such an ease of being able to capture these memories, like, why not try and capture it, especially for, like you said, for kids who are going to experience it and look back at the memories, for
Oh
you
yeah,
guys to look back at
definitely.
trips and remember all of these moments, like hats flying off on rides
Yeah,
and
yeah,
cheeseburger pogs and AK, so you remember it for next time. It's
exactly.
fab. It's absolutely fab.
I was really conscious about it, like, what people are going to think and stuff. And it was what's quite funny is when I'm looking back at some of the videos I'm watching, I can see people in the background staring. I've never even noticed because I'm too focused on looking at the screen and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but you really could, I didn't want to be one of those people where the phone was up in the air during like some on a ride and my screen's lit up. So I was really conscious, making sure I was quite considerate with stuff. Um, but yeah, it's so easy to pick up a phone, or I've got one of the Pocket 3 cameras now, which is a little bit more discreet. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, just record it if you're thinking about doing it. Just do it. Yeah, like you said, everyone else is already doing it anyway, so it's no different to anyone else. So
Oh, you look at footage on YouTube, POVs of rides or POVs of shows, fireworks, etc., and the majority of people have got their phone out. So
oh
it's
yeah,
no different, is it? It's
no,
no
no.
different. Everyone's trying to capture that moment. So
In
yeah,
fact,
why not? Definitely.
the first show we watched in Paris, there was two people who had like FaceTimed or WhatsApp timed, and they were just holding the phone up so someone else could watch it at
Well, that's
that
cheaper
same
than a
time.
ticket.
Yeah, true. But yeah, as soon as it goes dark, everyone's phones are lit up. So
Yeah,
I suppose
yeah,
you want to still be in the moment. And I try to obviously stay away from looking at my screen. It would turn off every, I think, 30 seconds. So there's
right.
occasions where I'm watching the vlog back and I can see where my arms just like drifted ever so slightly because obviously I'm not paying attention because I'm trying
Yeah,
to be in the moment and watch it back later on. But yeah, it's something that I was a little bit worried about, but now I don't think I'd go anywhere without kind of vlogging. Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Oh, so we've got more to come, which is good to hear.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely.
Good stuff. Good stuff. If you had, say, we could go cliche and say a top tip. If you had a top tip for someone who's like going on my first Disney trip, I'm going to take a camera with me. We're gonna vlog our experience for whatever reason. What would be your top tip for that person?
Have a battery pack. That's for
It's a
sure.
very good tip.
Yeah, especially if you go in Florida because the heat just drains your phone or your camera. Um, I don't know. I suppose the best thing to say is just don't worry what other people are, thinking, or if you're seeing other people looking at you, just ignore it because they'll end up forgetting 30 seconds later anyway. It's
Yeah,
the short-term memory for people to see that kind of stuff. So just get on and just do it basically. But yeah, my friend does a lot of he's a videographer, so one of his best things was get a microphone. People will put up with poor footage if they can hear everything going on really well. If it's poor
yeah,
audio, but great footage, they want the audio kind of side of things. So we um we got the mics the second time round, and it did make a massive difference. When I had it on my phone, I couldn't really control my tone very much. Sometimes I was shouting to make sure people could hear it. There obviously was a lot going
yeah,
on in the background. So if
yeah.
you're going to do it and you can get like a microphone set up, I think it would be definitely recommended.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. From someone who enjoys watching your vlogs, you can hear the difference in the audio from your recent with the mics for sure.
Yeah,
I think a
yeah,
lot of people are doing it these days. A lot of people seem to be popping a little clip mic on themselves.
yeah, and you kind of forget about it. It's on. You only really notice like if you're looking in a mirror, you go into the bathroom or something. You go, oh yeah, I've still got this on. So yeah, once it's there, it's just kind of forgotten about. But it makes a big difference. And what works quite well with the Pocket 3 that we're using is the Pocket 3, the camera will record one audio and the mics will record a different. So if anything goes wrong, I've got like a backup and stuff, which is
Oh, that's cool.
always handy as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. How have you found the YouTube stardom? Because, let's face it, you can put some of your trips up on YouTube for you guys and your family to enjoy, but a lot of people are subscribing to your channel due to the quality of what you're filming. How have you found that and interacting with people?
We It kind of took off out of the blue, and it just kind of snowballed. And I think when we've looked into it and stuff, our account was annoyingly, frustratingly hit by kind of bot accounts, and there's quite a few on there which we spoke to YouTube, and there's no kind of untoward towards the account and stuff, and they'll look into it. But we can see a lot of people subscribing, and when that was kind of dealt with, one of the stats for the YouTube videos is obviously the average duration. So you can see people now, they're watching the vlogs, it's lasting a lot longer and stuff. And the most recent ones are some of our best yet. And I think one of the most important things, which I never really looked into, and I think unless somebody tells you, is it really doesn't matter how many subscribers you've got or anything like that. It's if you're interested in the stats, it's basically the amount of time that they watch your kind of your vlogs for. So ultimately, it was all done for family and friends to watch it. Actually, having people like yourselves or other people watching it every week and sending us messages and stuff, it's been great. We've helped so many other people with like hints and tips and stuff. And we watch other people's vlogs like yourselves, and you do learn a lot and things that you want to try for next time. So as
Yeah.
much as I'd love to be the next Tim Tracker, those things are it's not going to happen. But you never know. Literally, we started in September. We've done in theory 2 series, and we've definitely got more things to come. And not just Disney, just other things as well. But for me, if I can, I'll be in a Disney park every year if possible.
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you there. 100%. Why go anywhere else? You got everything you
Well,
need in a Disney
yeah,
park.
yeah, of course, yeah, yeah,
Well, as someone who, as you know, due to our connection, who watches your vlogs, just know that what you're putting out is fab content. It's so natural. It doesn't look like it's staged or anything like that, which obviously some accounts are geared to be a little bit more pro tip and newsworthy, and they're structured in that sort of manner. The vlogs that myself and Loz like watching of an evening, and that's basically our entertainment of an evening these days as Disney vlogs, is like yourselves, where it's just experiencing it through your eyes and seeing all the memories that you guys are making. So just yeah, you're doing a fab job with them.
well, thank you, appreciate that. It's difficult because when you're in the moment, you don't know what it is that you kind of putting out at the end of it. So it's only when you kind of get to edit it all and put it together, you're kind of happy with it. But Brian was telling me that I do waffle quite a lot, to kind of fill the time and stuff. But that's just me anyway. Just have a good chit chat, and just yeah, this is just what we go through, and I think that's what we try to get across is this is us, and this is what we do. So
It shines through. It really does. It really does. And don't worry about waffling. Hence the reason why you're on this podcast, because I can waffle the best of them. So it's good to have a like-minded
yeah,
Adam who can waffle.
good to know. Good to know.
What about the other mass social community that we have for Disney fans? The Instagrams, the TikToks. How's that been for you guys?
Um, so TikTok isn't something that we really use very much. We'll just kind of
Same,
throw up
same.
odd videos, and when we do a reel on Instagram, it's very much just like a copy and paste and kind of where you go with that.
Yeah,
Instagram, obviously, there's a bit more of a community with it, and again, slowly progressing through, kind of gaining followers on there. Um, but again, it was just something else to kind of look back on, and especially like the picture side of things and stuff. But it's just really good to kind of be in a community where people all have the same passion and enjoy the same thing, and looking at the same images of Disney and Universal and Florida and everything kind of in between. Being um being a kid, I never had many friends that went to Disney, so never really
yeah.
understood it. and then there's only so many times you can obviously promote it before people get a bit fed up of seeing it. So it's just a good way of just kind of expressing yourself, I suppose. And there's no untoward, or everyone's kind of happy with it all. So yeah, we enjoy it. We've got a few people that we chat to, like yourselves and Russ and other kind of vloggers and stuff. And yeah, it's just a nice, wholesome place to be, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think the thing that's been really eye-opening for me is just the level of creativity that people bring to it. Like, it's not just a group of people who like going to a theme park. It's like yourselves are putting out vlogs and content over your socials. Personally, myself and Loz have got Demonstratives podcast, and we've thrown a couple of videos on YouTube that we've captured, mainly which are longer than reels, so we've just put them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then you've got Russ, obviously, who's created the Orlando Adventures podcast, which is a fab podcast that people need to check out. There's so much creativity in this whole Disneyverse that's been created. And like you, my core friendship group down here, some of them have been to a Disney park. And yeah, it's like, it's a theme park with
Yeah.
Disney theming to them. Whereas there's a little bit more passion from our perspective. So it's great to find people like yourself, like the other people in this great community, where we can talk about the little things, the Figment popcorn buckets and the bao buns filled with Big Macs and bits and that. And I get excited about that sort of stuff because,
Yeah.
like I said, once we finish work, we're usually on YouTube, we're usually on Insta talking, planning, and doing all those good stuff when it comes to Disney trips.
We watch more YouTube than anything else, and 90% of what we watch are people's vlogs and videos. And we enjoy watching the Tim Tracker and Mr. Morrow, and we enjoy watching the home vlogs and stuff as well. And like I said before, it's great to kind of get other people's experiences on what they do, and kind of finding hints and tips for yourself just randomly through those. But yeah, I mean, I could sit in a room and talk to anybody about Disney for hours and hours, on end, and don't get bored of it at all. And then yeah, do the same thing the next day. So it's obviously a good, um, good kind of community to be in. Some people don't understand it, and I think they're the people who've never been. And I think when they go,
Yeah.
it's they open up their eyes and stuff, and it's a different experience then.
Yeah, we've got a couple of friends who are first timers on Disney parks and also Disney cruises coming up this year. And like, you can see that newness of excitement
Yeah.
by going on a Disney sort of holiday. And I keep saying to them, like, this is going to be your life now.
Yeah, it's going to change your life.
Once the mouse gets hold.
Yeah. You get back and you're already planning the next one. So we've got stuff planned for this year, and we've kind of penciled in stuff for 2026 as well. Like, I'm already planning, the next and the next one again. So yeah.
Awesome. What's in the pipeline short term? What you got planned for this year?
So we're getting married in May, and in fact, it's actually 20 days away. So not long for that. So yeah, so we've got that big thing coming up, but we are doing our honeymoon in September, so the weather will be a bit cooler.
Awesome.
And we're doing a 3-state visit. So we're gonna go to New York for 5 or 6 days. We're gonna travel over, fly over to Los Angeles, where we're gonna go to Disney, Universal. We're gonna
Awesome.
experience all that. We actually got engaged in LA in 2020.
Oh, cool.
2022, sorry. So I proposed on the hike in the Hollywood Hills. So we're going
Nice.
back to experience that as a married couple now. And then from there, we're going to drive down. So we're going to hire a Mustang while we're in California, and then eventually drive down to Las Vegas. And we're going to do 3 nights in Vegas. So that's going to be
Amazing.
our honeymoon trip, which I'm just so excited for. I can't wait.
Yeah, cool. And a Mustang fan. I love that because it's probably my favorite car.
Yeah, every time I've been, we've hired a Mustang. So
Nice.
in 2022, when we went out, we did 2 weeks. So we did Los Angeles, and then we drove up to San Francisco, and then we stayed there for a bit and drove back down, and we did the big surf
Cool.
down the coastline. It was just incredible. And yeah, there's just something about being in a big 5 liter, Mustang car that's just drinking petrol.
It's America.
But
That's
yeah,
America.
exactly. So yeah, absolutely amazing. So Unfortunately, I couldn't get a Mustang when we went with my brother and the kids. It was just this big seven-seater.
Couldn't fit him in the boot.
Yeah. In fact, the boot in the Mustang was probably bigger than the boot on this thing. But yeah, so I've got that penciled in, or I've kind of pre-booked, ready to go. So that's the first exciting thing that always happens to me: going, get in the car, and picking the car.
Awesome, awesome. And heading over to Disneyland, California again. Is that the first time since 2022?
Yes, yeah. So we did a day in each park. So we're probably going to do the same thing again. Maybe 3 days. I'm not too sure yet. But we got can't remember what they call it, but basically we had the fast pass last time,
Right.
which just worked really well for us. So and we're more than happy to go in at park open, stay till park close, and do a
Yeah.
full 12-hour day. So it's not too much of an issue for us.
Great stuff. Great stuff. I've never been over to the Cali parks. Is it as magical as people say, being the OG park? Do you feel that sort of difference in magic when you're over there?
I think the only difference is there's no childhood memories in those ones. But I think that's the difference. But it's still breathtaking. You look around and it's just incredible with what they've done there. Obviously, the castle isn't as grandeur as what we're used to.
A little
But
bit
then,
smaller.
yeah, but then you obviously you think like this is where everything started and how it's all kind of come from here anyway. So the magic is there. I think the difference is there's not the childhood memories. A friend of mine who lives in the UK now, she's from Canada, and California would be her home park. So it, like
Right.
her experience would be, that magical experience there in Florida would be something that's new. So I think
Yeah.
maybe that's the kind of the biggest part of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good shout, to be fair. I've got friends who say that Disneyland Paris is their go-to, their number one, because that was where the childhoods was utilized when it comes to a Disney holiday. So, like you said, all of those nostalgic memories are in that park, and it does mean that that tends to be the one, your default. Walt Disney World is certainly my default. I don't think any other park will change it for me, and
No, no.
it was the first Disney park I went to, so I think there's some truth in that.
Yeah. I think that's what the biggest hit is. But yeah, the park's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the rides are incredible. Yeah, looking forward to going back. And annoyingly, I don't think they're going to expand the Avengers campus before we go out there because they've obviously got new rides coming and stuff. Just means we'll have to go back again at some point. So that that's fine.
You know you'll be back over there at some
Any
point.
reason to go back again? Because I know they're doing an Avatar part as well. So that, from what I've seen, the concept art for that looks incredible. Bryony's favorite ride is Flight of Passage, so I think anything to do with that would be a
Amazing.
good reason to go back. But yeah, we'll see.
That's a good top pick. I do like Flight Passage.
Yeah, that's her favorite ride. She absolutely loves that. And Isabel might not listen to this, but when she went on it, she was just terrified. She didn't realize, in theory,
Really?
how immersive it is. So when you do
Yeah.
that first drop, she was just like she was gone. She was screaming from it. But yeah, it's amazing. I remember being on it for the first time, and obviously you feel like the banshee breathing.
Yeah.
It's just that next level of immersiveness from it all. It's just so good.
I wonder whether or not we're going to start seeing some new screens to that ride now that these new films are coming out, different worlds and different elements of the Avatar franchise. I wonder if they see if they can somehow manipulate that ride to make it a little bit like Star Tours, where it's like a variation of different worlds and different rides.
If they could update it, like you said, for the new movies coming out and different scenes, and whether they could do it like Star Tours, where it's a different video or potentially different video for like the re-ride ability, that'd be pretty cool. But I mean, it's super popular anyway. I don't think they need to drive anything to kind of keep people going back, but it would be good to kind of see some updates coming for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's an experience in itself. It really is.
Oh yeah. It's I think this we rode it a few times, and one of the times just got absolutely soaked. Whatever
Really.
the spray was, like just right in my way. Yeah. But yeah, that's just it's eye opening. I think the screen. I don't know if it's as clear as it used to be. I'm not too sure, but everything's going so fast anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a must do.
Yeah, definitely. I've only experienced it once. I've only ever had the opportunity to hit it up once, and it was last year. And now it will be every time. If I have to pay Lightning Lane, I have to pay Lightning Lane. I have to experience that again. It
Yeah,
was fab.
there are some rides which are just like, I'll pay to go on this. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I'll skip the queue as much as the queue. It's worth, yeah, every penny for doing it.
And that's exactly what the Walt Disney Company wants to hear.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, if you're spending thousands of pounds of going out there, then what's another 10 quid to get on a ride?
That's it. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I can hear Uncle Bob laughing in his chair while he's stroking a cat like an evil villain to everything you just said.
Yeah, unfortunately, when obviously like the paid lightning lanes come in, it was just a massive uproar. But people pay it, and it's going up, and people are paying it, and it'll only stop when people stop paying it. And yeah, it's tough. It's a very vicious kind of situation to be in, because obviously you want to make the most of your holiday and your time there.
Yeah.
You've already spent a fortune anyway, but I think if you kind of pre-plan it already into your costs, it's a good way of doing it. But at least I know with Florida now it's changed a little bit more, where you can kind of pre-pick 3 rides beforehand.
Yeah.
But I've not managed to experience that there yet. But one of the tips that I did see was have one of them as a ride, which will just basically be a walk-on straight away. Do that instantly, and then that gives you more access to then the other rides, like all of the
That's a good
rides
tip.
to pick from. So yeah, but we've not managed to experience that yet anyway. So it'd be interesting for next time. It might change next time.
Ever evolving Disney trips, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and it can get overwhelming and a bit confusing at times. So if you've never been before, I can kind of see why, people need, help and advice. And best thing is just find up-to-date vlogs and videos of people who in your situation really and doing it.
Yeah, this is it. This is giving back to the community, the likes of the vlogs that yourselves are doing. It's the hints and tips that people pick up while they're also enjoying the sort of things that you're recording, which is just golden. It's golden for first timers. It's golden for repeat timers who haven't necessarily been in, say, a year or two. It changes so much, so it's always good to keep up to date.
Yeah, and it just keeps you excited and what's to come and all that. So the difference from 2019 to 2024 was such a long time, and just seeing everything being built and yeah, it was just like, I can't wait to go out there and experience it all. And then you do kind of forget in a way, and you kind of get back out there again, and then it's just as good as it was the first time around. So
yeah, it will never change. It will always grab us one way or the other.
oh yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned wedding coming up in a couple of weeks. Exciting times. Congratulations to yourself and Bryony. How's prep going? All going okay?
Yes, we're at the horrible part now where we've got to pay all the bills.
Yeah, it happens.
Yes, unfortunately. But it's it's been great. Like I said, I proposed in May 2022. I remember telling the family we're going to go on a hike in the morning. I'll do the proposal, then with the time zone difference, you'll be able to kind of pick up the phone to you and ring you and all the rest of it. And then that morning, it was sweltering at like 10 a.m. So the plan, she was like, let's do the walk in the evening instead. And I'm like, oh, right, yeah, okay. So I had the ring in my pocket out of its box because I didn't want it to kind of show in my shorts. Every 10 seconds, like checking my pocket to make sure the ring was still there. I hadn't lost it.
Yeah.
And then it was like 7:30, 8 p.m. It was like obviously gone, whatever time it was in the UK. So they thought I didn't do it. I bottled it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until like they woke up the next morning that they'd obviously seen everything that had gone on. But yeah, planning wise, it's been absolutely fine. It's not been too stressful. Bryony's like super organized with everything, so
good.
We've had an Excel sheet with like 15 different tabs for everything and tracking it all, and yeah, we've just got that horrible part of making the payments now. But we have a Willow, or our little miniature schnauzer, and her she's coming to the wedding. The first thing we have to do is find a dog friendly wedding venue.
Yeah.
So she's coming. And her
awesome.
little outfit's just arrived today, and Bryony sent me some pictures of it, and she looks so cute, and it's brilliant.
Oh, amazing. Did we get any nods to Disney Florida at all coming into the day?
No, we're again, some of the family obviously watch our vlogs, but we're just kind of keeping that part of separate and stuff anyway. So
yeah, fair enough.
I did have some ideas and things, but I think we're just gonna kind of keep it, I'll say, more serious. But yeah.
Well, you've had proposals near a Disney park, you're going to have a honeymoon where you're going to be heading to a Disney park. So
Yeah,
Disney's going to be involved to some form
100%.
anyway.
Yeah. So
Keep the day for yourselves.
we're going to make sure we get that badge that says just married, and I think we've
Yeah,
found
cool.
some. I think in fact Primark have got the wedding gears at the minute,
Oh, okay.
so we might pick them up and stuff. But yeah, we'll do that in our time as such. So,
Yeah, amazing.
but yeah, not long at all. 3 weeks. It's absolutely flowing around.
Oh, it will. It will. And just try to, as someone who's been there and done it. So our 10th anniversary this year, so it was a while back now. Just soak it all in that day. It will fly by if you let it. So just take. I'm sure people have said it, but just take a moment or two just to step away from the chaos you two and just have a little look around at what's going on your magical day,
Yeah,
because it will literally be the greatest and one of the fastest days of your life. So
yeah,
soak it all in.
yeah.
Soak it all in for sure. Many
Yeah,
congratulations to both of you.
a lot of people have said the same thing. Like, yeah, just take a minute, take a step back, and kind of sink in.
Yeah, it's to this day it's been our favorite party. It was so fun. Like the wedding was great, but the reception, that was fab, to have all like family and friends around and just enjoying, all of that positivity that weddings bring. I'm a massive wedding fan. I love it. I'm the Vince Vaughn at weddings from Wedding Crashers. I love it.
Brilliant.
So yeah, just you guys are gonna have a fab time, and yeah, can't wait to hear all about it afterwards.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So, Bryony's mum's side is Irish, so they're
Nice.
party, and then we've got a dad's side coming as well, and we've got my family. So it's basically like three families coming. It's going to be ridiculous.
Perfect.
So, yeah, it's going to be good. So, and
That's what it's all about.
we've picked a time when the weather hopefully should be good and the sunset's really late, and yeah, it's yeah, can't wait. And we've got a little like mini moon booked afterwards. So we're going to go to the Lake District for 3 or 4
Oh,
days.
cool.
So I might pick up the camera and just do like a 30-minute, 40-minute video of like just where we are and stuff anyway. So,
Yeah, nice.
so that could be quite nice. And again, it's just something else for us to look back on at a later date. So
Memories. That's what
yeah.
it's all about. Memories, definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
you'll love it. You'll have a great time. You'll have an
Thank you very
absolutely great
much.
time. Right, before we go, we need to cap this episode, as I cap every guest episode, with a quick fire round, which sometimes is quick, sometimes will keep us rabbiting on for about an hour. So we'll see if we can get somewhere in the middle. Are you up for it?
Oh yes, yeah, let's go.
Lovely. It's 10 questions, this or that, Disney style, of course. And the first one, I've said it before on other episodes that we've had, it really does make or break the episode. So no pressure for this first one. But are you left to Mexico or are you right to Canada?
I'm right to Canada.
Oh, same as Christy was. What's the thought process of going anti-clockwise and away against the grain of us
Yeah,
Brits that is predominantly left side and clockwise?
I don't
Why are you switching it up?
I don't know if it's just I'm not a big drinker, and I feel like a lot of
Yeah,
drinkers potentially go left. Um, but then saying that, I know when I used to go with my mum and dad, we always used to kind of finish in obviously the British pub,
yeah,
would like end the night. But yeah, I don't know if it's just to go against the grain. I'm not too sure, but yeah, just kind of going the right way around is is just the way to go.
yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Are you a Grand Fiesta Tour fan?
Um, I like it. I know they've just done a recent upgrade, and I think they've just changed some of the audio and stuff to it. But
Yeah,
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 it's I again some rides you just want to get on out the sun, nice and chilled. You can
yeah,
rest your legs for 10 minutes. But I think the whole Mexico kind of pavilion and inside, I think it's brilliant. Like it, yeah, it's so
yeah. That's my excuse for going left. It's just I need to go and see Mexican Donald.
good.
That's as soon as I get to the World Showcase, it's like, let me get on that boat ride, and then we can
Yeah.
do we can go whichever way you like. Just get me to Mexico first. Okay, next up, you mentioned you do both actually, so this would be interesting if you do have a preference: rope drop or park close.
Uh, Road drop for me. Yeah.
Get in early.
Yeah, getting early. I mentioned before, sometimes the weather goes against you, so I think the mornings are sometimes better. Um, and like with the Paris trip that we did, we went back to the villa, so the hotel for like an hour or so, and then come back again. So you got your second kind of win. So it's very tough because obviously the nighttime has all the shows, like your evening shows, and the park. at night it's just different. It's just different experience altogether. So,
Yeah.
but I think because I want to be on the rides and the roller coasters, and especially in Florida, they get shut down with the lightning. It has to be a rope drop for me.
Yeah, good shout, good shout. You've mentioned this before as well. I think which way you're gonna sway for this question. Disney Day planner or go with the flow?
Yeah, I've got to plan.
Need a spreadsheet.
Yeah, I've got as much as I can do. Things obviously do change, and we didn't plan a great deal for Paris other than we're just going to go on this day and we'll figure out the rest from there. But that was kind of nice. It was a bit more kind of chilled out, but yeah, I'd rather be organized with a spreadsheet and understanding everything. And I think you can potentially get more out of your day or your holiday that way as well.
Yeah,
I think because there is a lot of waiting involved if you're not kind of up on your lightning lanes and your fast passes and all those kind of things. You can spend quite a lot of that time stood in queues waiting. So
yeah, yeah,
kind of you do have to be a little bit organized to kind of do it. If I had an annual pass and I lived out there, it's obviously it'd be a different story. You just go with the flow, don't you?
yeah. I mean, it's a good shout actually. The comparison between, say, like a Walt Disney World and the Disneyland Paris, you can sort of just rock up and go in a Disneyland
Yeah,
Paris for the most part. Whereas when you've got the size and the scale of Walt Disney World, you at least need to have a guide. Doesn't necessarily need to be a rule, but a guide for sure.
oh yeah, yeah. Some kind of structure, a blueprint idea to follow. Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned both of these, and I think I know where you're going. But Mickey pretzel or Disney popcorn?
Pretzel. Yeah. All day long.
Pretzel fan.
Yeah, yeah. Big pretzel fan. I think they need a little bit more salt on them, but yeah, big pretzel fan.
Cheese dip as well.
I'm not too fussed about the cheese dip.
Yeah,
Yeah, just go with the pretzel.
good stuff. I recently watched a vlog where you were taking down one of those pretzels, and I was like, I'm going to put that one in there because I
Yeah,
think it's going to be a pretzel fan.
I had something planned before I went to have like a pretzel tracker of how many I was going to eat on the holiday. I think I got to like
Amazing.
4 or 5, but I thought because it was a few videos in before the next one, and I thought people it would make sense. But I had a thing like to pop up and pretzel number 4.
That has to be done for the future for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'll look out for it. Um, Disneyland Paris Castle. You said it was beautiful.
Yes.
Is it that one, or is it the Walt Disney World Castle?
Yeah, I think Walt Disney World it just pips it. But I think the impression people have of Paris is it's not a very good kind of park. But I think that it's definitely going to be changing with all the expansion and stuff. But the castle is brilliant, and I think it's different to the others, especially with like the greenery down the side.
Yeah, I love that part.
You can walk through it, which is a win. You can't do that in Florida, and it obviously the secret with the dragon underneath. But
Yeah,
I think as the castle goes, yeah, I think the one in Florida kind of pips it. And
yeah,
I think I heard or read somewhere that it's backwards in Florida. I think Walt Disney wanted it to not be uniformed, so there's part of it which is back to front, which is why it looks the way it is. I think. Have you heard that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely right. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think Florida for the win.
yeah, yeah. It's close for me. I got to admit, but I'm with you. I am with you for sure. Animated classics or live action remakes?
The animated movies. Yeah. The
Considering what we spoke to early doors when we were talking about VHS planning and stuff like that, I had a
yeah,
feeling you would go animated classics.
I think the live. I mean, it's incredible what they can obviously do and stuff, but I feel like there's just something about the cartoon side, the animated side. It's like Aladdin again, The Lion King. They're just absolutely fantastic. And I don't know if they'd ever kind of go back down that route. Obviously, Pixar is a little bit different, and again, they're absolutely incredible. But yeah, I'd definitely go down original route.
Yeah, good, 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 good. I'm the same. I think it's just a little bit of it is like we were mentioning before about favorite parks and stuff. It's the nostalgia element, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wonder
yeah.
whether my children and similar ages nostalgia will be these live action remakes, and actually that's the stuff that they look back on and really have the tie to. It'll be interesting to see. But
Yeah,
yeah, as
definitely.
far as
Yeah.
we're concerned, it's cartoons all the
Oh
way,
yeah.
which is fair.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you came second on this ride a few times. So let's see how this goes. Web Slingers or Toy Story Mania?
I love Toy Story Mania. Um, no, I think Toy Story Mania. Yeah, Yeah. Web Slingers is very good, and I'm not saying it because I've lost at all.
What's the record like in Toy Story Mania?
I wish I knew. I've got it on the vlogs. I can't remember my scores or
Yeah.
anything. But for like wins, I think I'm ahead of Bryony on that anyway. um, but yeah, it's just so much fun. I feel like sometimes it's one that people kind of miss or kind of forget about. But it's such a good laugh. Like it's so good.
Yeah, I
And then
agree.
again, you try and get those high scores, and you finish, and your arms just absolutely killing afterwards. Yeah.
That's your trophy for putting that much effort in to try and
Yeah. Your
best whoever you go up
huge.
against. Yeah. Awesome. Team Mice or Team Duck? Are you a Mickey and Minnie fan over a Donald and Daisy, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think Mickey and Minnie.
The original mice.
Yeah. I think kind of. I remember just being a kid and watching like the Disney Channel, and I think Mickey was definitely more of a prominent thing. And again, go back to the VHS tapes, and everything is Mickey into it from that point. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely nothing wrong with the OG. That's a great shout. This one is interesting. Even I'm unsure actually of this one. Navi River Shaman animatronic,
okay.
or Flight Force Iron Man animatronic.
Ooh, interesting.
I think they're both fab.
Well, I'm an Iron Man fan, so I think I prefer that. However, I think the Navi animatronic has a lot more movement to it
Yeah, I love it.
when it's working. Yeah, so yeah, I think the Navi Shaman. Yeah, I think there's just a bit more to it. Much as I love Iron Man, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I don't think it moves as much as what that one does.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love that Shaman. It's absolutely fantastic. Last but not least, daytime parade or a nighttime spectacular?
Oh, nighttime.
Closing the day down. Yeah.
The parades are great. It's good to see the characters coming through and everything, but there's just something about, and that's what everyone kind of gravitates to at the end of the day, is just the firework display. The songs, the music, and everything goes with it. It just ends the day so well. Whether it's first day in the park, last day of the holiday, whatever, it just caps it all off nicely.
Yeah, awesome. That's a great way to close, definitely. Do love a firework display.
Yeah.
Adam, thank you kindly for sitting down with me and giving us some insight into Disney travels. Listeners, make sure you are following along Adam and Bryony.
Yes.
At Wanderlust Walleys. Is that the handle?
Yeah, it's Wanderlust Walleys.
Walleys.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry, I've had that surname for a long time. So give us a follow. Obviously, if you have any comments, let us know. Any feedback, we'd obviously love to hear it. So, but there's 2 series up at the moment, and more to come. So.
Perfect, and that's the same handle for your Instas, your TikToks.
Yeah.
Perfect, listeners. Please do go and follow along. Definitely, you'll find some fab content there, and your evenings will be like me, which is just watching you guys head around a Disney park. But we appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. It's been great to be on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll certainly have to have you back on, like following some of your journey, and obviously when you head over to Cali, I'd love to hear a little bit more about that and jump on an episode about that, because it's not something I've experienced. I'd love to get some hints and tips, because I'll definitely go over there at some point. So
Yeah,
you'll be welcome back. We've already mentioned you're an Adam, so
Yeah.
you've got a premium spot here in the Devonshire Diz, seemingly.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, definitely. I'll be 100% vlogging all that as well. So I'll make sure I get extra long episodes as well.
Great stuff. Massive congrats to you and Bryony. I hope the wedding day goes all well. And thanks again for joining me.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye now.
Thank you, mate. A massive thanks to Adam for joining me today. Be sure to check out the Wanderlust Walleys across Insta, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Some fantastic content both Adam and Bryony are putting out. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you like this episode, please give ourselves a like and subscribe on Devonshire Diz Podcast, and you can also find us on Instagram and TikTok, and of course YouTube, over at Devonshire_Diz. If you're looking for the latest park news, cruise news and DVC, please check out the DisLoad. And for all of those DVC members or anyone considering DVC, Be sure to also check out the Brits Guide to DVC podcast. That's all for today. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.